put down your baby and pick up a beer. Dad Jokes is back with a brand new episode. I'm Jerry, joined here by Brandon, and you're listening to the podcast of two dads going through the journey of fatherhood while you all listen to us do it. And Brandon, my friend, we started the podcast before either one of us had a single kid. I now have two, and you are just mere days away from joining me of having two of your own. And that's kind of what we're going to talk about today. How you doing, Brandon?
I am great. It's crazy because I was thinking to myself as you did the intro. You normally, or you used to say two first-time dads. Then you got obviously you got Peyton and AJ, and now we are just basically less than 72 hours away from having another little boy join the Dad Jokes fold. So it's this is gonna be a pretty quick hitter episode today. We're update you guys on what we've been doing. We know that it may be a slight delay depending on how the next week goes for us, but we wanted to make sure we got something out for you guys just to let you know where we're at.
Yeah, just to let everyone know listening, Brandon, you guys are just a couple days away from going in, and it's a little bit different because you guys have a scheduled C-section, so it's the baby's coming. It's not like, hey, it's an induction, it might work, it might not work, or hey, we're planning on going in. It's no, the baby's coming. So you guys got a couple more days with just a family of three, and then that family of four will happen. We'll kind of get into that here in a minute, but before we do, Brandon, let's go with a dad joke. Hit me with a dad joke to start our podcast today.
So I'm taking it kind of back to the and I'm gonna hit you with two of them. One is gonna be a throwback because I looked at episode 3 we did was what to expect for the hospital and birth, and at the time, I keep all my notes on every show, and at the time this is right around the time where we were starting to get ready. It was like the week before our first scheduled induction. And for those of you who've been listening for a while, you probably know that induction did not take, and then we had to end up going back. But the dad joke that I did at that point was, what do you call two ghosts that are in love?
Booze.
Booed Up. And I think I did like a little LMA, like that song Booed Up, did a little song there too. But I'm gonna do another kind of dad joke this go around. Kelsey did not think this was funny. Okay. So but this is here we go. Let's see. Jerry, do you know why milk is the fastest liquid? It's pasteurized before we can even see it.
Oh, I like it.
It's past your eyes before you can even see it. Yeah. Thought that was fitting for the day.
With the NFL draft, there's some 40-yard dashes going on right now. I like it. There's some fast guys out there, but I like it. Not too bad. It's funny you said that, Brandon. Mine's very dad jokey this week, too. I was thinking to myself, I'm like, man, we must be becoming more veteran dads because my dad jokes are becoming more lame, but I still think they're funny. So mine's very much a
I've been towing the risque line. I've been towing the risque line a little bit lately.
I did for a while, but I
tone it down a little bit.
Yeah, I think maybe, it was, because I was for a while too, then I kind of peeled back, but I think when you get the newborn again, maybe it puts you back in dad, like typical dad joke fashion. We'll see what happens with you here in the next few weeks, but, Brandon, what's been going on in the Banks household the last couple of weeks since we've talked, and, kind of, with Bryce and Kelsey and everything, what's been going on?
Honestly, it's been a lot of status quo. Kelsey's last day of work was Tuesday of this week, and she's been in grind mode around the house, just getting some last minute stuff together. You and I both work in the car business, and this last week also coincided with the last week of the month, which is always pretty busy for us. And with me knowing I'm gonna be off for a couple of weeks, we've been getting a lot of stuff done at work, obviously too. But now we had our last baby appointment earlier in the week. Everything looks good. He's tracking big still, which is exciting for Kelsey.
I'm excited to see that actually, like that size of the baby, like because I feel like like guessing that'd be kind of interesting to see. Because what was Bryce?
You're
what
doubtful.
again?
Well, Bryce was 6'15", 6 pounds, and they were right on.
Okay.
Like they basically said he was right around 7 pounds.
650.
Okay. But I know we talked about it last time. They were off with both Peyton and AJ for you. So
Oh yeah.
They're alleging it's going to be at least an 8.5 pound baby. So we'll see. And I just pulled the car seat up and was messing around with the insert for the upper baby, and the weight limit on the newborn insert is 8 pounds. It's like if they're above 8 pounds, you don't need it. So it's like we're right at that threshold. So we'll have it just in case and see where we're at. But I mean, it's been and we're gonna get into it a little bit. It's just honestly been a lot of getting last minute stuff ready. I'll talk a little bit later about kind of my psyche going into this one compared to the first time with Bryce. But we've been intentional about spending some different type of time with Bryce. He's been super good with independent play. He has been for a while now. But it does seem like, and it's obviously in our heads, but I feel like he's just getting a little bit clingier with mom lately, which is tough on Kelsey to a degree because she feels it. She feels it coming almost. But been reading a lot of books, kind of trying to over-explain to him what like being the big brother is, what KJ coming is gonna like mean. We have a couple different books that we read to him at night that explain that he loves the books, but I mean at the end of the day he's 2.5, and so what does he really know and understand about what's coming? Is you can kind of prep him. Kelsey actually, and this is it's not direct baby gear, but it's a baby gear thought. She went to Target with Bryce today and got a gift for KJ from Bryce. So and he was super excited when he called me while I was at work and told me about the gift. And then when I got home, that's the first thing he did was ran over to show me what he bought KJ. And it did seem like that kind of like sunk in a little bit. He was proud of himself and proud that he bought a gift for his baby brother. So little stuff like that I'm hoping actually goes a long way. But other than that, man, it's just been we're getting ready for another baby. Like I feel like my body's already prepping me for lack of sleep because I haven't been sleeping great. So we'll be ready. I'm excited, but we'll talk about kind of my feelings around this whole thing after you give us your update.
Yeah, well, it's funny, Brandon, and we'll get into it a little bit more. But and obviously, I only have the experience of my kids, but I think you guys are probably a little apprehensive about Bryce and worried about Bryce, and we felt the same about Peyton, and Peyton was great. Like that part of it ended up being fine. Like us, that was a different story. Us dealing with the emotions and handling too, and all that good stuff was a different story. But the kids are more resilient than you think. I think they just, I don't know, they kind of go with it and they find their groove and that part of it, like I said, we haven't at least on our end struggled with it. It's been great their relationship as far as siblings. So I'm hoping and I'm thinking that's going to be the same for you guys. So I'm excited for you to see that part of it because it's fun to see them, kind of grow up, not only be siblings but best friends, especially at this point.
Yeah.
They don't really.
I mean, you're showing me
know
pictures of
anyone
Peyton
else that well.
Avery yesterday are the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, Peyton freaking loves Avery, and she loves telling us what to do with Avery and what she should do and not do, and everything's like, no, do this with Sissy or don't do. She wants Daddy to snuggle Sissy versus Mom snuggle her or vice versa. It's just funny. So that part of it, I'm excited for you guys because it is awesome, and I think, like I said, it's just kind of innate. I got a lot of nephews and nieces, and you see them around each other, and yeah, siblings can fight, but they can also be best friends as well too. So, but as far as what's been going on with us, it's been interesting. Not that you want to hear this, but Avery has not been sleeping well again. So that's been an adventure.
I'm mentally prepared for it right now.
Oh man, yeah, I don't know what's going on with her. She she finally started getting a little bit better, and then she's just back to not being good. But on the good side, she's been fantastic during the day. She's been a very happy baby lately during the day. Likes to have fun, likes to play. is eating everything and wants to eat and grab everything 24/7. Is crazy close to crawling. She can totally army crawl. She can push herself with her legs. She can do like a somersault and flip sideways and spin 360s and plank and do everything other than actually crawl. But she's definitely mobile. And like I said, just really happy during the day. Goes to bed typically fine. It's just in the middle of the night she wakes up 1 to 2 times and is just does not want to go back down for a little bit. So that's been tough. So we're hoping we're getting through that soon. Peyton is as crazy as ever in a very fun way, but in a very toddler way. She has been doing pretty good, but she definitely has her moments. The good news for me, from my standpoint, is she went through like a big mom phase, which she had never really done before. And she still, don't get me wrong, is all about mom, but she's back to dad's good too. And so we have dad moments where dad wins again, where it was like for a couple of weeks I was like I couldn't win no matter what. It was like dad was the bad guy all of a sudden, but I'm back to being okay. So I'm good with that. She, like I said, even chooses me sometimes now again, so that's fun. But yeah, the girls, the other things, small things, Macy got a new job, and that's kind of helped us have a better schedule around the house, and kind of it's more set as opposed to like all over the place, and that's been kind of good. And one downfall of that is the girls have been in swim class, but with Macy's new work day, it's been hard for us to go, but she was able to actually sneak out, and my mom helped take them there this Thursday. I didn't get to go, but the girls did fantastic apparently, and it was life jacket day, and Peyton hates life jackets, and apparently she did great, and Avery did great. And Peyton was even jumping into the pool, which she's never done before. So that's fun. I'm excited that she did so well. So this summer, maybe we can do
good job,
some
Peyton.
fun stuff in the lakes. Yep, I'm excited. And we also had my stepmom's birthday, which was kind of fun. We had a bunch of people at a Mexican restaurant, and Peyton just went to town on some tacos or actually it was quesadillas, rice, and beans, and she just thought they were great. I haven't seen that kid eat like that in a while, so that was cool. And she was playing with it was funny because we had all the nieces and nephews over at the house afterwards, my dad's house, and I was cracking up because the boys were being crazy, like punching each other, wrestling, roughhousing, having fun, and Peyton's just sitting there laughing, having a ball, but she's like, all the girls are sitting around like basically watching the boys be idiots, and I'm like, this is the difference between boys and girls, because they were having blast, but they were like, nah, I'm not doing that. So that was kind of fun to watch them all do it. And then the last thing, Brandon, is something I thought was funny. Macy kind of told me today, and I've kind of noticed a little bit too, is Peyton's starting to get to the point where she is like noticing tendencies of how to do things. Like she started asking Google for stuff, which I thought was kind of odd. You know what I mean? Like I didn't, we do it, but I didn't, like, she's picked up on that. And then like, even like she used to always like ask for shows, she'd be like, oh, I want to watch Tiana. But like today she like said like, oh, I want, I can't remember what it was, but it was like Elsa on the TV, can put on TV. Like she like was
contextualizing.
Oh, she's right. But it's, yeah, she's starting to like put like things together, which is kind of cool. Like, we're starting to do some more with the potty training, which is not going bad, but not good. She's not really doing a lot, but she's showing more interest in it. But even like today, she's like, she's like, I have to go poop. And we're like, okay, do you want to go on the potty or do you want to go on your mini potty? And she's like, oh, I want to go on the mini potty. And then later in the day, she's like, I want to go on the big potty. Like, so she's like, starting to understand things like in that way, which is super cool. So, but other than that, like, it's been chaos as always, which is fun. So it's been, life with two, which, as you'll find out, which is never dull and definitely makes the days go by quick, but they're almost always good. So that's it's been good around us. Any
you just actually reminded me
this week, Brandon?
It's not quite baby gear, but you mentioned she's like asking for stuff on TV. You guys have been listening to us for a while. I have been trying my hardest to get Bryce into Disney movies of any kind. Like, we used to do like Disney movie on Saturday or Sunday, depending on how I worked. And he just wasn't his thing. He watched Miss Rachel. He watched Sesame Street. Daniel Tiger. Disney was not his thing. That kid all of a sudden started asking for Moana. And it was like,
yeah,
Kelsey called
that's
me
a
at
good
work.
one too.
It is a good one. She called me at work. She's like,
That's one of
Bryce
my
asked
faves.
to watch Moana randomly. And I was immediately, I was like, you turned it on, right? No, she didn't. So Dad had to come home, and
Oh no!
the minute I got home, we watched Moana. She was like, I'll turn the TV on and watch the news.
You're the hero, though.
Yeah. So and he cuddled right up to me. And we watched Moana. It was really cool. And then the last quick update, we've started to sign up for preschools for the fall, which is the scariest thing ever. But we have 2 applications in right now. And for those of you guys who are potentially getting close to this, Kelsey does a very good job of staying involved in like mom groups and like community, like Facebook groups, stuff like that. Almost honestly just to keep her eye out on just random stuff. But we got like priority enrollment on one of the more difficult waiting lists, literally just because she was a part of this group that she signed up for, that are kind of like moms helping moms. And then that group got priority for a local daycare. So, if you have a chance, just it may help you guys going forward just to pay a little bit of attention to stuff like that. I never would have thought to or even known to do something like that, and she's all over it. So that's my baby gear / dad tip, I guess, of the week.
Nice. My piece of baby gear, Brandon, is actually something. It's not like even gear. It's something that you can buy from the store, and basically, like Peyton and obviously Avery, but like Peyton, pretty much her whole life, we've just given either milk or water after she got off breast milk, and we don't give her juice or other stuff almost ever. My mom occasionally has, but every once in a while, like we probably only a few times in her life we've done this, but like there's these good to grow character juices that you can get at the store at like Kroger or at Target and stuff, and they have like little characters on the top, and they're 100% juice. And I remember we got Peyton one for like, I don't know if it was Easter or birthday, something one time, and she absolutely loved it. I think it was a Tiana one. But the cool thing about it is, one, they're juice. I'm sure it's not great for them, but it's 100% juice. It's probably not terrible for them. But the characters they love, but you can reuse them. So she still uses that Tiana cup to put water and milk in after the fact. So you're buying the juice, but you're more or less, it's about the character cup, and they last for quite a long time. Like so the other day I went to the store to get something for us, and I got Peyton a Baby Shark one because she's been obsessed with Baby Shark, and Dad was the hero of the weekend for doing that. So something small you can get at the store, they're like $2-3, and there's tons of different ones. And like I said, if you get your kid it, they'll probably love it. But then you can reuse them too if you want. So we have like 3 or 4 of them now. Like I said, I think that's the only one she's ever had in her life. But every once in a while, it's a special treat, and they're cheap. And like I said, you got almost every Disney character you can think of: Paw Patrol, Baby Shark, just everything. So if your kid's into something, like if Bryce is into Moana, I'm sure you could find a Moana one. He might be geeked. Right, so
he's definitely into Moana.
It's something small,
right,
but it's something I thought of. Yeah, Moana's great, by the way. That's like I said, Moana. How far you'll go is like me and Peyton's song forever. So that's definitely one of my favorites to watch with her, because she's not so much into like the Aladdins and the Lion Kings that I like too, but Moana she loves. So I like that one. But let's get into today kind of what we're gonna talk about just for a little bit, Brandon, is kind of like where your head's at, and mostly like what's the differences or kind of how does this relate to the first time around? Because anyone out there that maybe is about to have a second kid or has gone through this before or is thinking about doing it again, it is different. And I'm sure you've noticed this, obviously, when we went through it. The second time around, it's a different pregnancy. It's a different mindset. It's different than the first time. So, I guess kind of talk about where you're at and how you've noticed these differences.
It is incredible. The difference is what we can probably title this episode. Her pregnancy has been completely different, which in the beginning caused us to think it was going to be a girl, not another boy. But also I feel like this pregnancy has been longer somehow. Technically it has, but only by a couple weeks. But my preparedness for it, like I was thinking about this week, because I'm like, I'm almost scrambling right now. I am and I'm not. Like, we got like a checklist of things, and we like it almost feels like most of the stuff was in the back of your head, like already done. But then you look up, you're at the end of the pregnancy, and everybody's gonna handle this differently. I'm just talking about my experience, but I was almost shocked at how little I had actually done. Like, and you're talking about somebody who we have a doggone podcast talking about things that we do every week from a parenting perspective. You and I talk about this stuff all the time, and then I look up and I'm just like, you really haven't done anything. My hospital bag is like not even fully packed yet. I have my hospital bag packed. I'm not joking. I think my hospital bag was packed like during her second trimester with Bryce. So it's almost like, and I don't know what it is. And I've looked at like Reddit threads, and there's a lot of second time dads who almost have this feeling. I almost feel guilty to a degree. Like, am I preparing less for, I don't know, one reason or another? But we're ready.
You still got another kid though too. That's you got another kid, and it's hard to not. I mean, I don't know. I went through it too, but like, in your head, you're like, oh, I need to get the hospital bag ready, or I need to do this, or I should do this. But then you get home and Bryce is there,
yeah, and
your wife's pregnant, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna do this, and it's like that stuff takes a back burner. Plus, you also like you've done it before, so there's a little bit of like, I don't want to say you can wing it because it's not winging it, but like you can get it done, right?
That's
you're
exactly
like,
what it feels like.
Get
though.
through this. Yeah, I mean it does. Like it's like I'm not so stressed about it because, I mean you're like we're gonna be all right, like regardless. So. But yeah, it is weird because like the first time around you feel like you're doing so much, and the second time around it's just like you almost have to talk yourself into doing stuff. I don't know if you felt like that, but you know, like all right, I should really.
It's really
do this
been
now.
the last couple of days. Like I'm almost appalled at my lack of activity, and when I compare it to, like, I was annoyingly prepared the first time. Like I'm watching refresher videos on like what to expect, and then I'm like, I'm in the middle of watching, and I'm like, I know this. It's really not. I don't know.
Right.
It's not. It's a very weird feeling.
Yeah. And the thing is, like you said, you do know it, and so it's the kid's not gonna know you did all this stuff or didn't do this stuff, right? And you're gonna get home and it sounds bad.
Well, they're gonna
like
listen to the podcast, Jerry.
That's true too. But like when you have a newborn, this is something with your first kid. A newborn is everything, right? Because you never had a newborn before, so everything they do, it's just like, what do I? But when you've had a kid, like what I noticed with the newborn, it's like, man, these newborns sleep a lot and they don't do much. Like you got your bassinet in your room, you got like the changing table, and you change their diapers and stuff, and then you got to feed them. But it's like, what else do you really need? And if you do need something, you have it because you had it for Bryce, you had it for the first kid. So it was tough because it's almost like, why did I have so much stuff to do the first time around? Because this time around, I'm feeling like there's 3 things I need. So why did I need 500 things the first time? Like, I don't know, but like, it's just weird because it's like you're going to get the baby home. I guarantee you, Brandon, and you're going to be like, I feel like I should be doing more for the baby now. Not only just before the baby got, but like, because the baby's going to be sleeping and it's going to be sitting there.
I remember you
saying
saying
used to
that.
a toddler. Yeah, it's going to be, because you're used to a toddler. So now you're going to have a newborn and it's going to be like, you're not going to remember how it was with the newborn. So it's just weird. It is a weird feeling, but, it's there. You'll come back to some of the things quick, but you will forget some stuff. And that's the other funny part too. Like I found myself like, just random things being like, what are we supposed to, like, how many times is it supposed to nap? What time are we supposed to go to bed? Like, what can they have? What can they not have? Like, even water. Like, Avery can have water now. And I'm like, the other day, I was like, wait, she can have water, right? Like, I was, like, tripping for a second like I was wrong. And it's just small things like that. But, yeah, I mean, so, do you think Kelsey feels differently like kind of you are, Brandon? Or do you think it's mostly just on your end?
So, I would almost argue that she's almost picking up the slack for like my lack of activity. I feel almost bad about it. But I think that's the way she kind of gets rid of nervous energy as well. From her perspective, it's more about the Bryce dynamic, and both her and I, I think we're both nervous for the C-section, obviously for different reasons. But I mean, I was fully awake and fully aware of everything that was going on in that room the last time it happened. And it's not necessarily, if you're paying attention, for the faint of heart. And so I know mentally what I'm about to go through. And that was, I mean, candidly, that was like the longest 6 minutes of my life. Because there's so many unknowns that are going on, and things can be completely normal, but for you, it's a lot, and you just want everything to be okay. So your heart's just beating the entire time. So I am nervous for that specific experience, but I can't tell you how excited I am at the same time to hold I want this thing to be a reality at this point. Like I'm ready. But for her, it's more about the immediate aftermath after the surgery, because she does have a toddler now. Bryce is loving to cuddle with her and climb on her, and she knows that not only she's gonna have a newborn, but she's gonna have, obviously that's major surgery, so she can't lift him. I have to be present to help kind of ease that. So I'd say for her, even more than like how Bryce is gonna react, things like that, it's the immediate couple weeks to 3 weeks after the C-section, and her being able to physically still be there as a mom for Bryce.
Yeah. One of the things that I don't think I fully understood before the second kid was here that just kind of hit me early on, Brandon, was when you have a newborn the second time around, obviously you've done it before. It's a new kid. It's no two kids are going to be the same. But you also have the toddler, but the toddler is going through new things constantly too that you've never experienced before. So it's kind of odd, because you would think, okay, I got a newborn, the new kid's going to be the most challenging thing, right? Like when Avery was born, like, okay, Avery's like, she's a newborn, I need to give her the attention, I need to take care of her. But Peyton was going through stuff that we had never experienced before. So actually that was more challenging, because it was like, we didn't know what to do, or we were dealing with stuff that we hadn't dealt with before, but the Avery part of it, we had dealt with a lot of it before. So it's a weird dynamic too, because you it's like your oldest kid is always going to be hitting new stages you've never done. So it's never like you're just like, oh, I got that down pat, because it's something new, you know? And then it makes it tough sometimes, because then you want to like not miss the new stuff with the new kid, because they deserve the attention. They deserve the new stuff too. But some of it is like, well, I know what's going on there. I know how to handle that. So, you know, that's the dynamic that takes a while to figure out as well. And I think it took me a while, but, you know, we're in a good place now. But early on, it was tough for me, because it was like, you know, Peyton's doing new things. She's, you know, at a point where she was more expressive. It was more fun probably, you know. And then with Avery, it was like, okay, well, you know, I know the routine, you know, eat, sleep, poop. That's a newborn to a degree, but you don't want to miss out on the smiles. You don't want to miss out on the, you know, the firsts of their life. So it is a different dynamic, Brandon, and it's something that you know you'll have to try to find your guys' balance and juggle, and it also will depend a little bit on the kid too. You know, is the kid a mild mannered kid? Is it vocal? You know,
God, I hope so.
What kind of baby is KJ gonna be?
Yeah, and I mean, the cool thing is we're having these conversations. It's not, and conversations like this force you to take a breath, stop, think about it, and it can create the habits that you need. Like at the end of the day, dads out there, just stay present as much as possible, and if I can just maintain that, I know everything's gonna fall in place. But I'll be lying if I didn't say I'm more nervous for this, for whatever reason, than I was with Bryce, and I cannot put my finger on it.
That's interesting. So would you say, like, you think you're more, but is it a different type of nervousness than it was with Bryce, or is it just more nervous? Because I feel like for me, it was definitely a different type of nervousness more than it was even just more or less. It was just different.
Different is the right way to put it. I would say, and I don't know a better way to say it than this. It almost feels like Bryce was pure unadulterated excitement. like not a twinge of like anything scary. and that was probably just me being naive, to tell you the truth. But I don't know.
Because some of the tough things that happen, I mean, it's tough because you had tough moments with Bryce, but you didn't know him yet, right? So you didn't
That's
know.
exactly what it is. Yeah.
That's another thing, too. Like, you're going to have some tough stuff with KJ. Even if it's a great baby, there's going to be these tough moments. There's going to be these tough learning points. And so subconsciously or consciously, whatever you want to call it, like, you know what's going to happen. Where with the first kid, even though you heard about it and you quote-unquote know, you've never experienced it. But now you're going through something that you've experienced. You've experienced the tiredness. You've experienced
we know what's coming.
Frustration or the nervousness. So that is a little bit of a different nervousness. And you got the whole dynamic of another kid, like you said, like how are they going to act? How am I going to juggle the two? And someone, as they always put it, the good news is when you have a good partner like you do, and you have two, at least you can still play man-to-man defense. You don't have to go into a zone yet, so you're man-to-man. You just got to make sure that you're on top of your game, because that is one thing that you'll learn quickly, Brandon, is even if like let's say Bryce was upset and you were kind of at your end, or like you were just tired or whatever, you could kind of pass him off. And same thing with Kelsey. Well, now even if you pass off the baby, you still got Bryce, so you're never truly passing someone off. That is something that it takes a while to get used to too, because and then sometimes the older ones, I will 100% tell you, way harder than the younger one. So, sometimes you want that baby and you don't want the older one, because the older one's being crazy or throwing a temper tantrum or something like that. But you got to play man-to-man defense, and you got to take the moments of peace and quiet when you get them, because they will be less than they were before, which most of the time is good, but sometimes is a lot.
Man, Jerry, I can tell you had a future in radio, because you started off with the pseudo combine reference and you're ending the episode with the pseudo NFL combine reference. So, good job.
Yeah, not too bad. Well, Brandon, I can't tell you how excited I am for you guys. It's going to be a lot, but it's great, and it'll be fun to see and to hear, and I can't wait to meet KJ and hear all the stories of kind of you guys, not just in the hospital, but bringing him home and meeting Bryce for the first time. That's going to be just awesome. And then honestly, just selfishly, you guys had Bryce before we had Peyton, and I'm sure you kind of had that point where you were waiting to talk to someone about it. Well, talking to you about having two kids, it'll be fun, because it is a little bit different, and now we kind of can both relate on the same page, and it'll be fun kind of flipping roles where we're slightly ahead of where you guys were, where before you guys were slightly ahead of where we were. So it'll kind of be fun with Avery being a little bit ahead of KJ, where Bryce is a little ahead of Peyton. So we can't wait. It's gonna be awesome. You're gonna have a great healthy kid and another one joining the Dad Jokes podcast, which is just mind blowing to me. Like I said, we started with no kids, and now we both got two. And yeah, man, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun to kind of hear you guys and then how things go. And another thing too, Brandon, is this one you guys are having kind of, I think, at a great time, like right in the spring. So like as the baby gets a little bit older and can start going out, it's gonna be summertime. That's gonna be great. So that's fun for you guys. So I'm excited for that too, because this summer I think there's gonna be a lot of fun events.
I can't believe it's finally here, but we're ready. And if we're not, we got to be.
Let's do it. Exactly. It's showtime. So, Brandon, I got a dad joke for you. You ready for my dad joke?
Jerry, I'm waiting with bated breath.
All right, Brandon. Where do pirates go to buy their hooks?
I don't know. Booty.
The second-hand store.
That was a dad jokey dad joke.
That was clever. That was
we lived up to the title
jokey.
today.
We did. That one was very... I saw that one actually in a dad joke book that someone bought me that I had forgot about, and I found it today, and I read that one and I chuckled, so I brought it back out. But yeah, so... But Brandon, yeah, man, the next time we're on here, you're going to be doing the introduction of your guys' new baby boy. We're not quite exactly sure when that's going to drop. Obviously, we got to make sure you guys are home, feeling good and situated. But that's going to be a special episode, so I can't wait for that. But if you guys haven't in the past, please like our stuff on social media. Please write a review. Please wish Brandon and his family well wishes. Tell your friends about us. We love hearing from each and every single one of you guys. The biggest compliment you can do is tell your friends about us that are also dads or even moms that like to listen to us too. So it's been a crazy journey. I can't wait for the Dad Jokes team to grow by one more. So we're definitely excited and all having prayers and well wishes for the Banks family. So, but as always, I'm Jerry, joined here by Brandon, and you've been listening to Dad Jokes.